The new iPad combines the power and capability of a computer with the ease of use and versatility that you'd never expect from one. This shows that the Apple iPad supposedly bridges the gap between a laptop, a computer, and a smartphone. From this table we can see that the iPad has become increasingly powerful as the newer models have been released, increasing in screen size, new and improved features being added such as front and rear facing cameras, fingerprint sensors to unlock the device, larger memory capacities, all whilst coming at a lower cost than the original design. The iPad 7th generation has a large list of innovative features and technologically advanced features such as the Retina display, the multi-touch display, the dual-facing cameras, Bluetooth 4.0, dual microphones, lightning connector, 10 hours of battery life, and the App Store. The company behind the iPad is Apple Inc., which was founded by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne in 1976. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started this business to sell a blue box that allowed users to make free long-distance phone calls on the AT&T network. However, production of this box was stopped due to the increased pressure by the police due to high volumes of criminal usage. Steve Wozniak then went on to create the Apple One, which was the first product to be sold after the company's official foundation in 1976. Apple continued to develop new technology and released the Macintosh in 1984, which was their first big success. 2001 saw the release of the iPod, which changed the way people listened to music portably by making use of MP3 files. The first iPhone was released in 2007 and completely changed the market for mobile phones as the first successful smartphone with a touchscreen. The product classification of the iPad is a specialty good due to the reasonably high price point that it sells, and also the fact that the designs are supposed to last a while longer before a replacement is needed. This means that the consumers are likely to do more research and spend a lot of time deciding if they're going to make the purchase or not. This means that the iPad could be seen as price elastic. However, the brand identity in the iOS operating system that is unique to iPads and Apple devices can often reduce the price elasticity of demand for the iPad, meaning that some consumers will purchase the iPad regardless of the price point it's sitting at. From this graph, we can see that the iPad sales in 2010 were the lowest we have ever seen. This is due to the product being in the growth stage when it was newly released and consumers were unsure whether it was worth spending their money on or not. In these stages of the development, costs would have been very high and the revenue would have been very low. In 2014, iPad saw its highest sales of any quarter shortly after the release of the first iPad Air, which was a lightweight and smaller version of the iPad that was at sale for a lower price than the standard iPad at the time. This was when the iPad was starting to reach the maturity stage of its life cycle. From this point onwards, the graph shows that sales of the iPad have been slowly decreasing but staying reasonably high. This is due to an extension strategy that Apple uses to releasing new and improved iPads every year with more and more features to entice customers to make a purchase. The slow decline of the iPad sales can be attributed to the increasingly powerful smartphones made by the company. Apple iPad, along with lots of other of the Apple technology, uses the price skimming technique where the price is initially set higher than competitors, as their brand identity will mean that consumers will purchase as soon as they release, and they will slowly lower the price down to a level where customers will purchase them due to a lower price. They will keep doing this over the course of a year until the new model is released, where the price of the previous generation will drop more significantly. The launch price of the iPad has slowly been decreasing over the years. This is due to increased competition from companies such as Samsung, who are also producing higher quality tablets for similar products. For the iPad, Apple uses one of two marketing channels. Most of Apple's sales from iPads come through direct marketing channels from their stores, as they often have large stores in shopping centres or through their website, where a consumer can purchase their products and choose the specifications of the product, such as colour and storage size. Unlike iPhones, the iPads have a far smaller number of sales coming through indirect marketing, through intermediaries, such as network providers or technology stores. This is because not all iPads use SIM cards, which means it is also a lot easier to buy iPads from the Apple Store themselves. How did I learn in a suitable and correct manner? I found that the seminars and lectures were engaging, which helped me to gain a better grasp on the course content that was being taught. The seminars especially helped me to gain a better grasp, as it helped me to back up my own knowledge on stuff that I wasn't really sure on after lectures. What caused issues with my learning? I found that it was really easy to get distracted while I was not in lectures while I was at university. This is not a new challenge I face, as I've always struggled to stay concentrated while not in an education environment. It has been especially harder due to being living on my own. The recent circumstances of the country being in lockdown and staying at home has also not been very distracting for me due to having my family at home, who would usually all be at work, but they're constantly staying in the house, which makes it a lot easier to get distracted. How have I tried to overcome these challenges? Whilst still at university, I found a good way to improve my concentration was to do some of the work in the library, as it minimised the distractions that I had and it helped me to focus on the work I was trying to do. While I've been at home, I found a good way to overcome the challenges of distraction while at home is to talk to my family about the work I need to do, as it helps them to realise that I've got work to do. They don't distract me as often,